My name is Samantha Kendrick. I'm the daughter of Pamela Kendrick, 11th of the 439. I'm going to say this all very, very quickly because I want to keep it under the 10 minutes. My mother is British and has been kidnapped by the Tasmanian Guardianship. For 2 years, I constantly complained about Dr. Paek. Is it Paech? And his assistant Nori. My mother has breast cancer. She went into the hospital because there was no shopping service provided for 80-year-old women with breast cancer. It's everything about all of this shows you how utterly disgusting Australian healthcare is. She woke up to Dr. Paek standing over her, telling her that he'd given her 2 rounds of shock treatment. I'm not joking, and she's 80. From that moment on, my mother was in total fear. She didn't tell me for 3 months. She came out of there. She told me that I had to give up all my work. My background, actually, my family in Australia are police, and my mother was a legal secretary, and I had looks that people like. And from a teenager, I pretty much met all the predators in the world. Obviously, my mother had a brother who's 6'4" and did fuck all. And that was pretty much the story of my whole life. So I was heavily in trauma and never ever spoke out, and hence, of course, you meet them all. My mother, as a single woman, had to protect all of this. There was some vile thing that happened in Cornwall. I'm having to explain all this because of what's turned out. That he covered up his family really bad, and I don't want to talk about it. I have made a statement about it, and I actually didn't see anything. I've had 3 eye tests, and my mother didn't see anything either. And it actually, the doctor used hypnosis. It actually happened way before I arrived on the scene. I don't know how that the sons have managed to get away with so much. I really do not. It shows you how shocking the police are. They've also met quite a few famous people through it, and I think that's what's kept everything going. They've said a lot of lies that I've had children or I've had a child, and the Tasmanian police actually questioned my mother. This is how far the lies went. Well, I think my mother and I would both know if I had a child, every pap smear would have told me, and not one stretch mark. It's actually slanderous to say that. So she comes out, and Nori is put as her carer. And my mother was actually coming back to England. I've got proof, I've got written proof, I've got everything. She was coming back. And every time that Mum went to go and get her ticket, Nori was there drugging her. It was just perpetual taking her off to Dr. Paek the whole time. She needed a hearing aid, and she also had breast cancer. Not once, even today, have they taken her to get these sorted out. She was then overdrugged. She went to Dr. Paek with a witness, said, please take me off these drugs. 2 weeks, he said, in 6 weeks, without a further appointment, she went crazy. By this time, she's absolutely petrified of Nori. She's petrified of Dr. Paek. In the guardianship hearing, which was at Roy Fagan Centre, they've got a huge amount of complaints against them, including maggots in skin neglect. We are talking, these are vicious homes, and they need to be shut down. In that time, completely overdrugged. And I actually don't know much about drugs, but I know when someone is drugged. And she displayed all the signs of very, very heavily drugged. Her eyes were like saucers. I kicked up a real fuss and got myself in on the guardianship hearing, where it was just one bitchy, spiteful, vile thing. The first thing that they questioned me was over, I made a statement about Dr. Jenny Davidson's, my mother's female doctor, partner, when I was in Launceston. It was actually my ex that made the statement and then made me make the statement because he was so furious. Everybody has protected that doctor because for 2 years no one would give me the name of Dr. Jenny Davidson, no one would tell me the correct spelling of Dr. Paek. Except the reason that we made the statement was because he was sniffing his fingers all the way through the appointment. He was obviously, I was going there for about conceiving. They didn't know that my partner was going to be with me. They thought that I was going to be there alone. All I can remember is that she was blonde haired, she had a long bob, and she was quite thin, and I don't know, mid-30s, late 30s, early 40s, I don't know. But there was something about the appointment. They made a big thing about the appointment, that either it was 6 weeks or 2 weeks ago, or I can't remember. But it was look for that time span. And she got to the door and she kind of mini collapsed and then said something like, which I can't remember, but I remember thinking, oh, please don't let this be sexual assault. Whatever I said in the statement, what happened in the appointment is what would have happened. I was actually a refugee in Canada against Australia. I spoke out about D'Angelo and the girl bellies. All throughout this, I have said my mother is in immense danger because I spoke out, and I kept saying it, and you kept ignoring me. Dr. Paik, Nori, the girl bellies, that they're all Catholic, and guess where she is? She's in a Catholic home. We're not the greatest Jews in the world. My mother is ashamed of it. I'm not. I think it's fabulous. My mother even went and got a pet pig so she could say, oh, I don't eat bacon because of Priscilla. But we're definitely not Catholic. In the hearing, they also turned off the camera so my mother couldn't see me. When Dr. Paik gave her orders not to go on, not to see me, he took away her laptop, which meant she couldn't go on the YouTube. She's had no forms of communication, couldn't go on my webpage. My mother loved my work. It's just as simple as that, loved it. I've just put in a huge complaint, a complaint that's gone overseas, and I contacted the guardianship to say, when your programmer, so when someone's doing brainwashing on you and they tell you not to do something, you go to your grave not doing it. So I said, Dr. Paik needs to say to my mom, you can contact your daughter, you can go on YouTube, you can go on the internet, she needs to hear it from her programmer. So do you know what he did? He just called her in, told her that he wasn't decreasing the drugs, that she couldn't fly, and England is locked down. England has been free for 2 months. He's a vicious bitch. And if you look at all the things that are going on with ABC at the moment, he's the one that's signing all the statements. Guardianship, Kylie, she's been a piece of work. She decreased her money under 3 months. She made her pay for 2 government places. She made her pay for utilities. There's been no breast cancer checkup, and there's been no hearing aid. She's got a hearing aid appointment. No doubt Nori will be guarding her. And if you can get her, and tomorrow my mother will make a statement. She's in fear. She sobbed, she cried before the guardianship, and she said, you made a statement. She said, I'm just protecting you. So they told her about the statement, which the guy with the beard of the guardianship, he threw that against me. He was also implying that I had early dementia. I'm not Brittany, and I'm in England. The thing about invaders is that they firmly believe they're international, which of course, some are. But you don't say names like what I say and not have any form of protection. Be real. So Kylie, when I said, she needs to be out of the Catholic home, she's eating pig, she's in a bed that's really scrunched up, they had her on a table where people are spoon-fed, my mother can eat. She's heavily drugged and she's still got all her senses. Kylie's answer, this is so bitchy, is that she has fond memories of the place. Well, A, they overcharged her and she was given a refund. B, fond memories is what Dr. Paik took when he gave her shock treatment, and also the over-drugging. Matt, I'm going to put the emails at the end of this, from Roy Fagan, exceptionally bitchy. At the hearing, he said that she couldn't fly, and then when I emailed him afterwards, I said, why did you say that she couldn't fly?